Well, sometimes you get asked some pretty strange questions, and well, there's a question that, yeah, okay, probably, yes. Now, I've undertaken to service this, service this little locomotive, and to that end I have pulled out the motor. Now, before I take the magnet out, I want to mark so that I put the magnet the same way round. And something I've got is some marker pens that are absolutely ideal for this. And, well, I've searched high and low. I've searched low and high, and I can't find my marker pens. I did find that's a really useful thing to have for when you're playing trains, but I didn't find the marker pens, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and yeah, use a wax crayon, or not. Right, let's just put a little mark on there so I know what way round it came out. Now, the other thing that I discovered while I was drinking tea, I watched a chap explaining all about these jobs and how this is a batch one. Things that I've never really thought about, but this is the second version of the batch one because the cow catcher is moulded in and it's the plastic that doesn't go rotten and so on and so forth. And the tender it should have is actually a bogie tender. Now, when Triang re-released these a little bit later, they produced it with a bogie tender, but they also supplied it with an A3 tender, and it so happens that I have an A3 tender that I haven't got a locomotive for, so when push comes to shove we'll just hang that behind this locomotive just to give it the chance of pulling carriages and such likes. But next thing to do is to pull that little magnet out, and then we will show you how it all sort of works with the magnetizer. Okay, well, this is one of the famous Ronald Dodd magnetizers, and we can use it to pep up this dear little magnet. We can, and we start by finding out which end is north. That end is south, that end is north. And what we then do is we put it in between those pole pieces, and then we go zap, and for good measure we go zap, and that will have restored any weaknesses in the magnet. So much so that we now can't get it out. There we are. Right. Let's put a bit more life into that magnet. Simple job then to pop the magnet back in. The screw goes back in, not forgetting the little wire clip. Not forgetting the nut. Now, sensibly, these are brass, and we'll nip that up tight. And then what we'll do, we'll pop this motor back into the frames. Now, something that I spotted on this engine. The wire was sort of in the wrong place, so we'll put it in the right place. That will reduce the risk of because what I did, I put the screw back in to stop losing it. This is difficult doing it in front of a camera. But there we are, that goes like so. The motor engages under there, engages on the drive shaft. That little screw pops back in there, like so. You watch, I'll drop it now, won't I? Perhaps I won't. That's good. Do you ever hate those manuals that say reassembly is the reverse of dismantling? Well, it is. The brushes go back in there. That sleeve goes back on that one. Like so. Right, I'm going to put this all down so that I can do it more sensibly, and we'll return to the story once I've got those brushes in. Right, there she is, there she is. Let's see what happens when we, you know, this is a bit like the Frankenstein moment, isn't it? We flick the switch and... Happy with that? I think that's good, isn't it? I'm going to leave it like that for a little bit longer. I'm going to run it for some time like that, just to flick all of the spare oil off it, and then we'll put it on a test track and give it a run. But that's not going to be tonight.